all but forgotten colleague from my days as a magazine writer here in Singapore emailed asking if I could do some work for a friend. Nowadays, I don't have much time, what with being a solo dad to my 18-year-old daughter, Mandy, but Derek Ho is a nice guy, so I agreed. Also, he said the money was good. Eventually, his friend, a marketing girl of some sort, texted to meet up and discuss the job. It involved writing a feature story about financial planning that mentioned her client. Easy money. Good old Derek. She was probably a demure Singaporean lass who lived at home with her parents in an HDB flat with a diploma from a polytechnic and dating a bespectacled youth named Mervyn. She'd keep a collection of soft toys on her bed and avert their beady eyes when she and Mervyn got cozy. So I found myself in a Starbucks in a downtown Shenton Way on my midweek day off, sitting amongst various suits who had sneaked out of the office for an afternoon break. It had been years since I'd gone to the CBD, dressed in jeans, t-shirt and trainers, and with a backpack slung over my shoulder. I felt out of place amongst the shiny Hugo Bosses and notebooks. To save money, I traveled by bus, which had involved a long ride from the boondocks of Geelong to the banking district, and I probably looked frazzled. Also, I had not shaven, and my salt and pepper stubble was close to turning into a beard. But the marketing muppet would still be impressed. I am a cool Caucasian guy, after all. I'd flirt a bit, and she'd be sweet, and then we'd agree on a fee for the story. But after 10 minutes of waiting, there was still no sign of this doe-eyed collector of soft toys. I'd even had to pay for an espresso myself. I'd at least hoped to get a caramel latte grande on her expense account. Finally, a thin, young, beautiful Asian woman, exuding a haughty authority, rushed in. Every man in the cafe looked up with naked lust. A hot Asian babe. It was my lucky day. I stood, drawing her attention, and along with it, a cold-eyed, head-to-toe assessment. Was that a scathing look she gave me? It couldn't be. Chicks love me. Stupidly sticking to my script, I said, "Derek's marketing girl, I'm Bill. Can I get you a coffee?" and stretched out a hand. Her dark eyes blazed against flawless skin, full, shiny lips pursed. She let the question hang there, along with my hand. Before tossing back her long black hair and snapping in an American accent, "I'm not here for coffee." This was no pushover Singaporean office girl, but a power broad, a woman, not a girl, only in her 20s, but full of it. This was going to play very differently from how I had imagined. I sat down wearily. She, meanwhile, placed her neat little bottom on the edge of one of the rickety wooden chairs, glancing with horror at my non-digital notebook marked "Coffee, Big Bucks, Starbucks" at that day's date, with all the other windows empty. "Okay," I said. "Well, it was really nice of Derek Ho to—" "Oh, him," she cut me off with a dismissive wave of her hand. He clearly meant nothing to her. She probably ate Derek Ho's for breakfast. She'd eat me for afternoon tea if I didn't watch out. Before I could ask about the freelance work, she said, "Caucasians often wonder about how I speak. They think I am putting on a fake transatlantic accent like those stupid Singapore ditzes do. I can assure you I'm not like them." I muttered, "No, of course not. Why would anyone think that? Though really, who cared?" Before I could stop myself, I rolled my eyes. She picked up on that because the next sentence was about her personal life, as if she had mentally consulted a list of tips for business meetings and pressed the friendly button. "I was educated in America, Ivy League, of course," she went on, dropping the name of some swanky college. I refrained from saying that its alumni were know-it-alls who majored in the art of the cutting comment. Still pressing the friendly option, she leant forward as if to confide in me and said, "I used to be a TV reporter in Hong Kong. It was good training ground, but one cannot limit oneself. Hong Kong still has a place in my heart. I still have family there." Ah, she was a honky, as my Singapore friends sneeringly called them. A ruthless Cantonese bitch. But at that moment, all I really wanted to know was whether there was a paying job on the table for me. I'm broke and lonely. Having a wife persuade you and the kid to move to Singapore for the sake of her banking career, only to have her dump you both for a Texan oil engineer, screws up your life. Having the wife, Claire, then decamp with the guy for the riches of Dubai, leaving you with the kid, makes it even worse. Miss Hong Kong, as I think of her, was waiting for a response. I couldn't afford to tell her to shove it. "Oh, wow, Hong Kong," I found myself saying. Trying to steer the conversation back onto why I was there, I said, "That's interesting. I guess it must be useful, the reporter background with your marketing job now, and the job you had in mind for me. I'd like to make notes about it. Time frame, fees." "Let's talk about that later," she said quickly. "I think I will have some tea." Did she mean that in the coded way that Asians talk of tea as a sign you are to discuss a potentially delicate matter which will end in you parting amicably? Or was it going to be one of those meetings where they want to get to know you and build a relationship first? Well, I was not going to natter on about my ex-wife or my lost magazine career or my lovely daughter just so Miss Hong Kong could get to know me. But the next half an hour was all about her. It was one of the strangest business meetings I've experienced, with me nodding amiably now and then amid her stream of consciousness flow. She never looked at me once. As Miss Hong Kong sipped occasionally at some fruit tea concoction, I learned she hated Singapore, absolutely hated it. "The people are like robots. They can't think for themselves, and their English skills, hopeless. It's this mangled market Malay on Chinese grammar. You can't imagine the problems I have. I, a former top reporter, have had to write the company's press releases myself. But I've got CEOs to meet, investment products to sell. I'm desperate for someone to write a few magazine features for us." I perked up, thinking this was where she was going to offer me the job. But she was off on another tack. "Of course the Singaporeans hate Hong Kongers. We are so much more smart. I miss my dogs. Back in Hong Kong, I had 2 Pomeranians. Mom and Pop have them now. They have an apartment there. My parents, not the dogs. Luckily, my boyfriend is based here for work. In fact, that's why I am here. When we get married, we are going to have a big house and dogs, dogs, dogs." She was a piece of work. I had to admire her. First there was the knee to the groin, the mention of the unnamed boyfriend, then impending marriage. And of course, I'm a cat person. But then the boyfriend is probably Asian. Asian guys, they don't understand chicks. All these women want is someone to listen to them. So I kept listening. "The Singaporeans don't know how to dress classily," she continued. "They wear polyester." She, of course, was wearing a silk blouse of an exquisite oyster color with the cloth-covered buttons undone just one too many, revealing the top of a black silk bra. I wouldn't have peeped, except the pearl necklace she was wearing caught your eye and led you downwards, whether you wanted to go there or not. And I did. Unusually for a Chinese girl, she had something to look at. No need for padding that rack. But I'd still give a million Miss Hong Kongs and their pert tits for my Claire and her pale Irish complexion and the dusting of freckles across the V of my desire. I asked myself the question I'd tormented myself with 1,000 times before. What did that Texan bastard have that I didn't? I'm still searching for truth, you know, the meaning of life. Like, why am I so blessed when children in India are starving, this Hong Kong is saying. I feigned fascination and sneaked another look at her blessings. This woman certainly had her moments. Amid her self-obsessed talk, I glanced at my watch. What a waste of an afternoon so far. Mandy would be ringing me soon on my ancient hand phone to ask how the meetup had gone. At least, unlike me, she's happy, her studies at a fashion college going well, friends being made. I really believe in our investment products, Miss Hong Kong continued. It's a shame about the losses last year. We did lose clients, but we'll get them back. There's so much money to be made. She stared at me then, a full-on look at long last, and I felt a stirring of, I don't know, what? Compassion? Desire? I returned her gaze, hoping I looked confident and businesslike, rather than sad-eyed and hangdog, as Claire so cruelly had put it in our last bitter days. Though maybe with canine craving Miss Hong Kong, hangdog was good. I picked up a pen and prepared to write down details about the job. So, the article. When do you want me to do it, I said. But she was gathering her things off the table to leave. Oh, that, she said, lowering her eyes. I decided straight away that you weren't right for it. You're just not intense enough. She gave a fake transatlantic smile as I reeled back in my chair and left. Intense? What did that mean? It was like a kick to the stomach. The breath rushed out of me. I sat there, open-mouthed, playing with those words. Not intense enough, over and over. What did she want? The snappy media guy fending off phone calls and telling her he could give her 5 minutes? A Mr. Smooth patting her shoulder and saying he'd take care of it all? Who segues into kissing her on those shiny pursed lips, leading to an afternoon in a hotel suite? I'm too nice. I should have slapped her. I should have told Claire that I loved her, that I'd ram an oil pipe down the throat of that slick Texan. I should have told the magazine editor that he was an idiot. I should tell the principal where I teach that he's an idiot too. Just not intense enough. But I am intensely upset. I want to get out of this Starbucks hell. I'm shell-shocked. I find myself on the street. The shadows of the bank tower blocks are much longer now. The city's pace is busier, horns are blasting, people are walking quickly, while I'm slower, much slower. I shuffle along the footpath, hoping people are not staring at this man with tears on his face. I turn to wipe my eyes. I'm in front of a bookshop. The cover of a men's magazine is in my face. A pouting girl in a purple bikini stares back. A headline says, Guy, style warning. Are you wearing dad jeans? I look down. I guess I am. I'm a dad, and these are jeans. They belong to no discernible fashion trend. I bought them because they were cheap and they fit across my middle-aged spread. And perhaps that is why I am not intense enough. As soon as I think this, I know it's true. Somehow, amid Mandy growing up and moving here and me losing my magazine job, and Claire powering ahead in her career, I've gotten old. I'm 50. The Texan is a decade younger. He doesn't have gray hair. To young people, old is a disease. They don't want to go near anyone who has it. She would have been wrong-footed. She probably burbled on in embarrassment. In the window's reflection, I can see people young and purposeful. A couple goes past. He is European, his jacket is off, his shirt showing his physique. She could be Miss Hong Kong, a vision in silk and pearls. For a moment I worry she will see the sad old man in jeans staring at the bikini cover girl. But then I realize she will never see me. I have become invisible.